From Zombies Are Toys and their official Wrestling Heels and Faces line, this is Dino Bravo, a Wave 1 figure, and this is a big deal because it was the first time we ever got a Dino Bravo figure. Of course, we have the designs by Ron Rodant here, we have the credits to the figure here, and we got some fun facts. Height, 6 foot even. Weight, 265 pounds, from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. The Canadian strongman once bench pressed over 700 pounds. Bravo's strength helps him dominate opponents with ease, has feuded with many of pro wrestling's top stars. Now, Dino Bravo is a name that unfortunately has been kind of lost to history, especially because he died tragically. What I would say is, believe it or not, there was very much a point where Dino Bravo was one of the most famous wrestlers in the world. He was the Canadian wrestler. He could have owned Quebec in certain times of his career. In a lot of ways, he is to Canada, at least for a point, what someone like Hulk Hogan was for the United States and what someone like El Santo was for Mexico. He was truly, truly one of the all-time wrestling greats, and it's unfortunate that as time's gone on, we've kind of forgotten that. But hey, at least we have this figure to remember him by now, and hopefully this is going to help a lot of people go back and rediscover the old magic of Dino Bravo. I want to stress that this was Wave 1 of Zombie Sailor Toys line, right? This was when they were still trying to work out what their style even would be. When I'm looking at this Dino Bravo, he is very similar to a Hasbro, especially with this head sculpt. Let's look at that real quick. It's very cartoony and just a little bit awkward. It doesn't really mesh with the other Zombie Sailor figures I've looked at. And I think it's just because he was probably one of the first ones designed. Alongside that, you do have a pretty basic suite of articulation. You have head, you have it at the shoulder, you have it at the waist. I think when this figure came out, right, I saw so many people talking about this Dino Bravo. And I need to make this abundantly clear. This is a really good figure. I'm enjoying it a lot. But I think now that I've seen what Zombie Sailor Toy has been able to do with other wrestlers in Wave 2 and then in Wave 3, there is a little bit of charm lost to this Dino. But that's not to say it's a bad figure. It's still great. It's just the pain of looking at something in hindsight. Of course, step 1 is going to be a lot more rough than step 3. That's a sign that you're doing incredibly well and you're growing as an artist and as an individual. But I still kind of miss the charm I've gotten used to with the other Zombie Sailor Toy figures. Alongside that, I have more imperfections on this figure than any other figure I've ever gotten from Zombie Sailor. I have a really weird black mark on the arm. I have a little bit of the blue showing through on the Fleur de Saints here on the trunks. And again, I don't think that's a defect. I don't like Dino's mouth there. It's very sex dollish. I don't know, man. I like it. I'm glad I have it. It's just not the tippy top of what Zombie Sailor has been able to do. Even still, pulling in some of his contemporaries, and this definitely begins to work again. I love how he looks, especially alongside Bruiser Brody. It just speaks of a certain territorial day gone by. Overall, Dino Bravo is a very good figure. He's just not as good as some of the figures that would come after him.